A common problem for euphonium players and band people in general is having a lack of motivation or reason to play your instrument after leaving high school. I know because this happened to me. Once you graduate and leave the structured and predictable environment of your school band, it can be hard to find ways to play your instrument all on your own. This is a topic that I think will be useful to discuss for a lot of people. Whether you're almost out of high school and thinking constantly about your future, or you've long since retired and you're reminiscing about your days in the marching band, I think just about anyone can get something from this video. If I don't mention something that you have done, or if you have any general advice, then please feel free to leave a comment down below so that we can harbor like a support group for washed up band kids down in the comments section. The most obvious and probably simplest way to maintain a musical instrument hobby is to just practice on your own during your free time. Obviously, motivation is the biggest obstacle with this strategy. I think that most people who do this get highly motivated by the whole process of slow improvement and mastery over a skill, while some others just find playing their instrument to be a relaxing activity after a long day. So if you think either of these apply to you, then use it to your advantage. But for the rest of us, keeping the motivation to play our instrument on our own can be quite a task, especially if your instrument is big, loud, and heavy like the euphonium. Something I definitely recommend is to practice playing music that you like. You aren't in school band anymore, and you don't have to follow any boring curriculum of practice scales all the time if you don't want to. Try scouring over the website MuseScore or stop by your local music shop for some sheet music books. Who knows, you might find some music from your favorite movie or video game. And keep in mind you don't have to play music specifically written for your instrument. Nothing's stopping you from playing trumpet music on the euphonium as long as you can play in treble clef like any self-respecting euphonium player should. Another option here is to try and record your own multi-tracks using the aforementioned sheet music. From personal experience, I can say that this is a very fulfilling activity, and it's probably why I've stuck to making music content for this channel and playing the euphonium in general. You could make these just for yourself or to show your friends and family, or if you're brave enough, you could upload them to the internet and potentially gain a following to cheer you on. Also, this method is a bonus if you're like me and you have a hobby of hoarding random musical instruments that you can barely play. I have 2 accordions. If you have any knowledge in music theory, then you could give composition a try. Find some simple tune that you really like and try your hand at arranging a little quartet or something for your instrument. Then try playing and recording all the parts by yourself. I'd recommend using the aforementioned MuseScore for composition software. It's free and easy enough that I could figure it out. If you still find yourself too unmotivated to practice all on your own, then you may need to branch out and play some music with other people. If you have any friends or family members who play piano or a similar instrument to your own, then ask if they could play some accompaniment or ensemble music with you. You could even start a crappy little band with your friends just for fun. Do whatever you want. Playing music with those around you is a fantastic way to preserve your skills while strengthening the bonds you have with those around you. Depending on where you live, there could be a community band or orchestra that you could join. To my understanding, most of these meet in schools or churches and have a pretty welcoming atmosphere. A lot of countries around the world have traditional music genres that incorporate instruments usually seen in school bands. As a few examples, in Commonwealth countries you'll find British-style brass bands, Mexico has its banda music, and Central Europe has its polka. Whatever musical traditions you have in your country, I encourage you to poke around Facebook or whatever and find some local groups that are around you that might be looking for new members. Also, don't forget about Tuba Christmas. It only happens once a year, but if there's one near you, then it's such a wonderful experience. The music usually isn't too difficult either, so it's great for when you can't play very often and only bring out your rusty old tuba for rare occasions. The last part of this video will be dedicated to those of us who are currently enrolled in a college or university. I can personally attest to this situation as it applies to myself, and also because I have a little bit of a story to tell. When I left high school, I didn't have much of a plan for my euphonium playing. My main instrument was owned by the school, so once I left, I was stuck with nothing but the plastic euphonium to play on, and at one point I even thought I was going to stop making euphonium videos for this channel. When the fall came around, I moved into a tiny college dorm room with 2 other people, which obviously was not a conducive environment for playing a giant brass instrument. For a while, my mindset went on like this until one of my friends mentioned that he was going to join the campus band, and that I should join as well. At first I thought, well, what the hell is that? That's a thing? Basically, after that, I got myself my own bass in Euphonium, and even though the aforementioned friend has yet to play in the campus band alongside me, I've still had a great time, and more importantly, it's kept me playing my instrument. If your school has a music department, then I urge you to see if there's some sort of lower level band class that's open to all majors that you could join. In the case of my campus band, it's open on Tuesdays in the evenings, which is great for my schedule. I was worried at first that everyone else would already know each other and that I wouldn't fit in, but I soon realized that band kids do not change, and that they're all still the same lovable, unfunny goobers that I put up with in high school. If you'd like to take music more seriously, then I'd suggest taking some more advanced ensemble classes, or even getting a minor in music. Depending on your school, you could have some options depending on your specific interests in music, such as composition or performance. Just keep in mind that a minor in music likely won't help your career that much, so be smart about how you spend your time and money at university. Of course, none of what I've said in this video applies if you don't even have your instrument anymore, which is absolutely the biggest hurdle to returning to this hobby. How make big noise when not noise machine big have? I honestly don't have much advice here other than just get a new instrument. Depending on what you used to play, you could find an old used one for cheap on eBay or Craigslist, and if even those options are too expensive, maybe try looking for a similar instrument that's usually cheaper. Euphoniums are very expensive for some reason, so if you want to pick it up again, try looking for a baritone instead. And as much as I've said about the plastic euphonium, plastic brass instruments can still sometimes be a decent option for how cheap they are. I also have a P-bone that I've played in one of my videos before, and it's a pretty good trombone, even though the slide feels awful because I hardly ever use it. I need to stop getting new instruments. If you're going into a college band like I mentioned, then you could see if they have some instruments that they lend out to people. Or you could also just ask around to see if you could borrow someone's instrument. You never know. Well, that's about all I could think of for this video. Like I said, if you have any more ideas or advice, then please drop some wisdom into the comments section below for anyone else who misses playing their instrument. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading very often recently. I've been mostly occupied by classes and then a summer internship, and I usually can't come up with many great ideas for videos. Also, I am very lazy. I have some ideas for some near future-ish videos, and I'll try to be a bit more active here, so stay tuned folks. I'm not dead. Yet.